much fundamental to the religion
But you're
because
talking,
it's based
let's
on
not
the
move
idea
it.
that Sharia.
No problem.
Can I stop you 1 second?
No,
Just 1 second. Can Christians be anti?
Listen, I don't think Jews should be allowed to talk.
No, there's a quick question. You can just answer this.
Well,
quick
that's
question. Do you think
it's a similar view to Timothy in the Bible, where it says that women are not allowed to talk in the church. But what I was going to say
but
to you,
can Christians be anti-Semitic? Because you were saying Muhammad could be anti-Semitic.
I didn't say this.
No, but I'm asking, can Christians be anti-Semitic?
everyone has the propensity to be
No,
anti-Semitic.
So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Look, let's keep this going. What I was going to say, the Quran says something really interesting about Jewish people. Okay, I'll tell you exactly what the Quran says in summary.
Not that interesting.
No.
You're focusing on the boring part, the parts that don't bother us.
Subjective. Well, you asked me a question which is scriptural in nature, and I'm giving you the answer. Right? The Quran says, "Min ahl al-kitab" in chapter 3, verse 75, that there are those of the Jews and the Christians that you can trust them, and there are those who you can't trust them. In another verse in the same surah, it says, "Laysu sawa'a," they're not all the same. That was the one verse before it. So in other words, the Quran's attitude towards Jews and Christians seems to be in line with its attitude towards Muslims, because in the Quran, chapter 35 of the Quran, it says, "Minhum zalimun li nafsihi, wa minhum muqtasid, wa minhum sabiqun bil khayrat." That's, I'll hold on for you, no problem. So just to keep going, the Quran says that there are some Muslims who are oppressive to themselves, and some of them which are on the middle path, and those who excel. Likewise, the Quran says about the Jews and Christians, they're not all the same. There are some good of them and there are some bad of them. Likewise, the Quran makes that has that sentiment to all of humankind. That humankind, you find good people, and you find trustworthy, and you find untrustworthy. So I think if we're talking about the Quran, what we need to do is we need to look at the text. It's easy to say, well, Muslims believe in this and Muslims, and I would agree with you, Abby, right? If you said to me, look, Muslims are anti-Semitic, I would say to you, some of the Muslims are anti-Semitic.
No, let's be honest.
Yes.
The majority. You've been on any Muslim forum online.
No, hold on. He might be right. It depends on the location. I'm from Egypt, okay? In Egypt, I would say anti-Semitism is the default position. If you're not anti-Semitic in Egypt, it's irregular. Whether you're a nationalist or
Why is that?
It's because of, I will tell you, hold on, let me answer your question.
I can't wait for you to say the Z word.
No, it's not Zionism. I'm not saying that. It's because of the wars that ensued.
Should have been the Rothschilds.
1967, 1973. These wars heightened the anti-Semitism. But then, on the flip side, the peace...
That's like the Brexit. It's called sore losers.
No problem. But no problem. I don't disagree with history, right? History is something which is there. But what I'm saying to you is that on the flip side...
Mate, you do disagree with history because when it comes to Israel, I've seen you.
Let's not convolute the discussion.
No, but you made a pretty strong
Abby.
statement that you don't disagree with history, but you actually do fundamentally disagree with history.
Okay, well that's
Let's go.
maybe you're right. Maybe it's because of my compounded ignorance of it. You could illuminate and educate and edify. No problem. But what I'm saying to you is this, Abby, we have to stick to the topic. You started off by talking about anti-Semitism in the scriptures, right?
Yep.
We talked about verses of the Quran which explicitly mention good things about Jewish people. I'll tell you some that don't, because I want to be balanced here. I don't want to be, unbalanced. It talks about this Jewish scholarly class in chapter 62 of the Quran. حمار يحمل أسفارا, donkeys that have scriptures on their backs. What does this mean? The Quran makes a criticism about Jewish scholars that they have a lot of knowledge. It says they have a lot of knowledge, but that they don't implement that knowledge. And by the way, it's really interesting about this criticism, Avi, is that it's the same criticism that the Israelis had. When recently I was looking at Haaretz, one of the Israeli newspapers.
Let's just be fair, guys. Haaretz is not very Israeli. They are.
And that's your position as a right wing, but it's a left-wing paper, right?
Very far left-wing paper.
No problem, but it is a paper in Israel.
Self-hating Jews.
No problem. But they were talking about something interesting. There was
to you.
Okay, maybe to me, yes? It's subjective. I was wrong.
Let's hear it.
What I was going to say is that the scholarly class, because the clerics referred to as the Shahs in Israel, yeah? A lot of them in parliament, in the Knesset, they refer to as Shahs. But outside, the scholarly class of Jewish people, they've been criticized by their own community for being exempt from the army. So, in fact, the Quranic criticism of the scholarly class of Jews is the same as the Israeli one. That you have a lot of knowledge, but you don't have any action. That you're not doing.
So can you explain to me why that hadith? Let's go back to the beginning. That hadith there doesn't differentiate the one where it talks about, and it's not, because I get the argument all the time that it's historic.
No, it's not historic.
That one is in the future.
Yes, absolutely.
Do we need to get rid of that?
No, we don't need to get rid of that, because what this hadith is telling us, in explicit terms, is that there will be a war between Muslims and Jews. By the way, to be fair and clear, at that particular time, yes, and this is an apocalyptic hadith. It's talking about in the end of times. It's talking about the day of judgment. There will be a war between Muslims and Jews. or some Muslims and some Jews, and then the tree will.
No, but it doesn't say some. It doesn't say some.
No, I'll tell you what it says in the hadith. It says that there's a tree called the gharqad, which is a tree. It will become animate. It's an inanimate creature which will become animate, and it will help and facilitate and guide Muslims to be able to destroy their Jewish enemy. That's all it is. At that particular time, in the apocalyptic period, not in. This is not a hadith referencing. Yes, like you said, a past event. I agree.
So what do you think? You don't think we should get rid of that hadith that talks about killing Jews?
Let me ask you a question, right? Yes, I don't. And I'll be completely honest with you, I'm a traditionalist, I'm a scripturalist, which means fundamentally that I believe in the Quran and then I believe in the authentic Sunnah. So you would never catch me saying that we can get rid of any authentic hadith, just to be completely honest. But then I'll ask you a question. You know, Deuteronomy chapter 13, verses 6 to 10, it says if you have someone in your home that I'm saying it in Arabic, but it says here, let me just tell you, if your brother or your son or your daughter or your friend or your wife, if they entrust you with something, yes, and they tell you, we will worship other gods, yes, then kill them and stone them in their own homes. Now, this is in the Bible, the Torah. Do you want to get rid of it?
I say we should get rid of it.
Okay, fantastic. Now go.
It's not even in the Torah, it's in the Quran.
Sorry. He said he condemns it.
If it's in the Torah,
yes.
If it's in the Torah,
yes.
Get rid of it, and anybody that believes it should be.
Job complete. You know why? Because for the first time, I think in history in your life, you've condemned a different scripture. I'm very happy that now you've looked at.
I condemn Nazism.
No. I'm talking about scriptures. In the same, with the same. Avi, listen to me. Avi, perfect. With the same vigor that you have against talking about the Quran and the Hadith, because of its what you would refer to as violent verses, and we wouldn't disagree. There are violent verses in the Quran. I want you to use that same standard in condemning the Bible and the Old Testament.
No, but the difference
Isn't that fair?
No, it's not fair. Because
he's an atheist.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why it's not fair.
Yeah,
because you don't see Jews killing Jews or Jews killing Muslims in the name of the Torah. You don't see, but it is just Muslims targeting Jews. Anytime there's a jihadi attack around the world,
okay, now it's going
they tend to they target and then they get the Jews on the side. It's like a bonus.
I see what you're saying. Avi, I appreciate where you're coming from. There's two important problems. One of them is, according to Pew, Muslims account for about 1.8 billion people, which means that they're about 1/4 going on to, according to them, 2,100, they'll be 1/3 of the world's population will be Muslim. 1 out of 3 people in the world will be Muslim.
So what? Okay, just tell me now.
Let me just make the point, and then you can. Now, Jews account for about 30 million people maximum, maybe 20 million. Yeah. That means to say that there are more people in Cairo.
But we're the chosen ones.
No problem. Now you're going to Scripture.
Now you're a Jew.
No problem. Anyway. There are more people in Cairo than there are Jews in the whole world.
Yep.
So it's a false comparison because if you have more people...
What did you say? It's about,
about 20 million people in Cairo. Yep. So what I was going to say is that it's a false comparison because when you if you have...
I'll tell you why it's not a false comparison.
Let me just make the point and then you can come back. If you have 2 billion people, you have 2 billion people in the world versus 20 million, you're definitely going to get more violence from the 2 billion, whatever faith they're from.
Okay, so let me put this to you. Yes. Let's agree on a number. A percentage of the 2 billion that's violent jihadis. Give me a number.
I'm sorry, I can't give you that. I don't know.
Let's say 1%.
No problem.
0.1.
Whatever you want.
Doesn't matter. My point doesn't change.
Well, okay, let's get actual statistics.
My point here is that it's not the gross number that counts.
Yes.
It's the fact that in no other religion do you have even the matching percentage that is killing and targeting others in the name of the religion. There is a fundamental problem.
Avi, what's the source for that? What source do you have? What evidence do you have?
For what?
Ali, we're not the devil.
I can give you evidence.
Not you, him.
Life.
Come here, Ali.
Avi, I'm going to say to you, that's not an academic way of making...
Come and have a selfie.
I don't need you to give me academic yet.
Is this the one who supports the terrorist state Israel?
Ali, come and have a selfie. Come on.
Don't get distracted. Okay, I'm making a very clear case.
All I'm saying to you is that there is... Sure.
Let Avi make his point. Go ahead, Avi.
There is no other religion. There
But
are
you've
so
made that-
many more Muslims than
yes.
Jews. We get that.
No problem, yes.
And obviously there are going to be many more violent ones because of the numbers. But percentage, per capita,
can I come back to you?
per capita,
Yes.
because there is no fundamental thing that teaches any other religion to
No,
kill
no
us.
problem, Avi. I will tell you something, right? If you look at the book of Deuteronomy, book of Numbers, chapter 31, verses 18 and verses 32, it's very clear that there is a very clear command to Moses to go into the village and
The
take-
Canaanites.
Yes, to go into the village.
If the Canaanites were here today,
Yes.
oh no,
And
if the
take
Canaanites,
32,000 girls
absolutely,
who are virgins and take them as slaves,
yeah,
etc.
it's very Islamic of it. Now,
Yes,
listen,
very Islamic. They predated Islam.
Yes.
So maybe it was maybe the
it's called a
opposite-
joke, lighten up.
No problem.
Now,
Yeah.
what I'm saying to
Take that out of the
you
Bible.
is if it's historically happened, it's a disgrace. I condemn
It's a
it.
command. It's a command from God according to the Jews.
Now, if there were Canaanites today,
Yes, yes.
or Amalek, you're talking about the Amalek people, yeah?
Canaanites.
Canaanite. If they existed today and Jews were targeting them, I will be at the front condemning them as
Okay,
well.
I like that.
Okay,
Fine.
but
So
it
let me-
doesn't.
let me go back to-
It's irrelevant because it doesn't
You know,
exist.
I appreciate
And
it.
you're fucking tall. It's annoying.
No problem, Avi. I'm coming back to go back to the social.
You have someone to look up to
in
now.
terms of raw data. Okay, raw data that we
You're
have.
actually
in front
quite
of us.
funny.
I'm going to get funny as well, don't worry.
In terms of raw data.
Did you pay for that coffee, or was that another one of those ones?
Avi,
£1.99.
Avi, please, can you continue with me, please? Ali, please. In terms of raw data that we have in front of us, according to Daniel Cape, who wrote the book Dying to Win, looking at the period of time from 1980 up until I think it was 2000. It was a 30-year period he looked at,
Yeah.
and it's probably regarding academics, it's probably the most accurate survey of suicide bombers in the modern period. And he said that in terms of ratio, the number one group of people that did suicide bombing was the Tamil Tigers. That's his finding, right?
What years was this?
Pardon?
What years? What?
He looked from 1980 until another period, 2005. 1980 to 2005, which is about 25 years.
Yep.
So he looked at that period of time, which is pre, obviously 9/11, and post.
Yep.
Yeah. So here we're looking at a very. So here the point is this: is that when we look at the academic data, yeah, it doesn't substantiate your claims.
It does, because the Tamil Tigers, and I condemn any
See, now, Avi,
terrorism.
do you know what I've done with you today?
No,
Avi?
hold on.
Yes,
Yeah,
go ahead. Sorry. Yes.
but the Tamil Tigers is in a specific war zone. Islam,
Suicide bombing.
Islam looks
Innocent.
at the war. No, I'm condemning it.
No problem.
But what I'm saying is the reason why you don't see me out there taking up the cause of the Tamil, because the fact is they are no threat to us here in the West.
Okay, so your focus is that which is a threat. here in-
Because your religion calls
No,
for
Avi.
the fundamental basis of it
Yeah.
is an Islamic caliphate worldwide.
Okay,
All of you believe that one day.
That's your interpretation of that. No,
What? Are you denying that?
Yeah, I'm denying that. I don't think the fundamentals. I know the Quran. Hold on, sorry.
Do you not believe? Okay, fine, not fundamental. Do you believe that?
No. I believe that the fundamental message of Islam.
No, forget the word fundamental because I like it. I can see what you're doing.
Yes. I will tell you clearly, right? I will tell you clearly that. I will tell you clearly that. I will tell you clearly. There is no specific instruction in the Quran, and I dare anyone to define me. There is no specific instruction in the Quran telling ordinary Muslim laymen to establish a caliphate, and you can give me the opposite.
So what I'm asking you.
What about
No,
non-laymen?
you've made a claim.
No. So what
about
I'm
non-laymen?
Fine. So you're denying
Yes, I'm
the
denying.
idea
I'm denying
that
it.
in
Yes,
Islam
I'm denying
you
it.
need a worldwide caliphate.
No, I'm not denying that you. No, hold on. I'm not denying the existence of a caliphate historically.
No.
Or the
I'm
need
not.
for it. Or the need for it.
You're
Or the
denying
advantage of it. No, hold on.
I didn't ever say that
Right.
in the Quran it says you have to.
No, you said it
I'm
was a
saying
message.
as one of. I'm not going to use the word fundamental.
So what do you
One
want to
of,
say?
one,
What's the message you're trying to
one of the
communicate?
objectives, one of the things within Islam is to create. Everybody's got to have an active role. Every
Who says-
Muslim.
Oh, you sound like Hizb ut-Tahrir. I mean, here the thing
Every
is.
Muslim has to have,
Okay.
whether it's through violent jihad
No,
or whether
now
it's
you've gone
suited
to ISIS.
jihad. No, that's not
Hizb
ISIS.
ut-Tahrir to ISIS. Look,
It's not ISIS.
Here's the point. Here's
Do
the
you
problem.
believe that the world needs to become a worldwide caliphate one
No,
day?
absolutely not. I don't think that Sharia law should be imposed on every person, especially non-Muslims. And the evidence of that is in the Quran. Do you know that? The Quran says, "La ikraha fi din qad tabayyana ar-rushd min al-ghayy," that there's no compulsion in religion. And when it talks about imposing the jizya on the
Well,
individual, hold on, I'm getting there before you get there, man.
I love
Okay.
jizz.
Yeah. Anyways, let's keep it
Yalla,
short.
yalla, yalla.
Yalla, Habib. What I was going to say to you is that when it talks about imposing the jizya on Jewish people and Christian people in chapter
exactly what you want.
What's happening?
Mate,
you're going to get searched.
you never done nothing.
Oh, me, yeah? Me,
You're gonna get
officer,
searched.
come on, you see, what did I do? What did I do? What did I do?
Danny, just keep calm, bro. Came to me.
Danny, just keep calm. Stay back. Just let him search it.
Step back forwards, please.
Yeah, go down.
Ladies and gentlemen, one step back.
Guys, step forward, please. One step forward. One step forward. Yeah. And another one, please. One more step forward, please. One more step forward.
Dan, they're gonna let you go. Just calm down, bro. Yeah, it doesn't mean it's an arrest, bro. Just calm down. Yeah, that's it.
Listen, you got it on my knuckles 2 times. It's like my first rodeo, mate.
Calm down.
Come on, yeah, got it. Lost down. Medical treatment. Essentially
Oh no, we know. Yeah. It comes a lot of events. You know, just like I come in all the time.
Are they taking them out?
Yes, surname, Delta Uniform, Romeo, Alpha, November, India. First name, Alpha Romeo. Date of birth, 0907 1998. Male. Yeah, I've got much functional calculation. Anything that needs to just double whiskey white or
And I've heard you say
thank you very much.
this for someone to go forward.
You're dismissed with thanks, teacher.
As soon as I said it was going out live, got cut off.
It was via attached channels have asked 808 Mike Delta receiving teacher.
No, the other one comes in my head. Yeah, I was like, I bet not told it.
You're late, are you receiving teacher from Moscow? You may always be aware about the
Release the beast!
Yeah, thanks for that.
I loved it. I've got one right here.
The results, but I'm saying we're all going to learn from our mistakes. I'm asking if you think you have. As in, if you ask me not to say
Man, like old. Good, yeah? No. That's you, that's you, bro. Come on. Done the one, brother.
I had to friggin' do a mission, bro. All the way from the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the other side, isn't it? So what you say?
Nah, I'm gonna go box this off, blood.
I'm missing that.
Nah, you know they were shifting him still, but they took the handcuffs off. And Danny Tommo. Outside the park, I don't know what's happening outside the park.
My little brother's here as well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk about, yeah, listen, I've got a spoon in there from McDonald's, yeah? There's no spoon in there. This is the...
Banging, yeah?
It's called chole. Which means chickpeas and fried bread.
Mad thing, I'm gonna box it off now.
Bad thing. I'm
There is
boxing
it.
it off.
Let me find some. You see what Steve's talking about? Sorry, bro.
We could give you my abilities are the lists of names. And I know some of them, things go to the top of this government because they're on watch lists.
Yeah, what happens is, unfortunately, along with the royal parks, the local policing team will work on specifically targeting them individuals. They will get, they are getting footage from today's event. I'm sure you're aware there is remote CCTV in this area, right? I'm not telling you something you don't know. And all that is fed, as you rightly said, to the higher levels because this is a royal park. And obviously Speaker's Corner's been going on since 1920s as far as I'm aware. Right?
250 years.
Right, because I was reading the boards.
The new boards.
The new boards, because we were asking ourselves, where did it originate? And we couldn't find out where it originated.
Oh yes, there's a video of Omar with his warning.
Yeah, but...
and it won't have expired.
As I say, we know that he's got the warning, right?
He is one of the main
Yeah.
problems.
Oh,
There are a number of others.
And acceptable behaviour contracts do expire. Alright? Because they can only have a limited shelf life.
What would their normal length be?
It can be up to a month.
Only up to a month.
No, they go further. It all depends on your application to the
Just
court.
get him to send a Twitter or a post on Facebook and then have his door knocked in and then arrested. Get him to do that.
Yeah.
That might help, innit?
That's fine. As I say, the local policing team are here.
Might help.
We'll speak
We'll
with
do
them
it here
and they can
live.
deal
Man.
with it. Alright? But as I say,
Can't get enough of the footage here.
individual ones coming down every week.
Be live, man.
Oh yeah, and that's the challenge, because you're not used to this. You don't know what's going
I've
on.
been there multiple times. Right? I know Speaker's Corner and I believe in Speaker's Corner. Right? Because at the end of the day, it's one of the view places that people can come and air their views and allow other people to air their views. Whether you agree with it or disagree with it, should allow the other person to air their views.
We need bigger signs to say if you're easily offended,
Everybody apart from one ideology allows people to share their views. There's only one ideology that stamps on everybody else's.
And calls everyone a racist.
Yeah, the
even
far
me.
right.
And we're the ones to get ejected.
like brown people are calling me racist. Like this guy look far right.
I'm far right.
As I say,
I'm a Nazi.
Sergeant,
No,
right?
but really-
Was you shown proof that this guy was already called big on his video?
generally she showed me. As I say, I do not know.
But I'm sure that that's on the
As
database
I
somewhere.
just explained to this young man, you can say you're young because I'm old.
So basically, it's more of the same.
Right?
Hassan's only 15.
We have a social database and that will get fed back to local business team.
That's all the crack does to you now.
Don't know. Right, have a nice day for the rest of it.
Should I? Baku?
Ras told me he's coming down still. Gonna find out from. He's that Bilal and Issa over there. No mask Issa. Ain't even gonna run up on him with his no mask. No mask in the lot today. He's over there now. Ali Dawa and that Australian brother.
We got racks on racks on racks. We got racks on racks on racks.
Is he trying to beat him up? Yeah.
So to this terrorist sympathizer and state terrorist sympathizer,
You've been to that border. I don't support them. I fought for them. I've been on the border. I've stopped those jihadis myself.
you're a terrorist. You're a terrorist. Listen. What's Hamas? Sister.
What children? Not a child. That's not a child. That's not a child. That's not a child. And a 16-year-old can't be a terrorist.
Have you shot people like this?
Served on the Gaza Strip.
Have you shot people like this guy? Yes. Yes, you have. He has shot innocent people. Go to the border. Let me finish. You go to the border for what? For what? So, now let me get this right, yeah? This guy is the biggest terrorist ever. Yeah? This guy is...
One of the biggest
What's the funniest thing I've heard all fucking day? You're gonna hear it again. This guy's the biggest terrorist ever.
That's your
No, you have got 5 minutes. You ain't going nowhere, brother. You ain't going nowhere. Yeah? These causing trouble.
Snitches. Remember, they always calling me a snitch. Calling the police, calling the feds. Cops are ops. I don't believe that though. It's no cops that are ops.
Mad thing.
That's good.
I say nothing. I'm gonna go box off this food real quick. Big up Middlesex so much. Coming through and blessing a nigga. Come on, camera just abandoned. There's a mad one in the corner. Easy, fam. Where you been at? Where you been at? What the action's been up there, blood?
I don't do EDLs and all these type of funny. You get me?
Man, are too bait for
Man, they're getting shift and that.
Yeah, I think Danny Tommo, good. They got they had the cuffs on him, but they freed him up still.
Okay.
I think it was outside the park. I think him and Omar had something, you get me? I don't think he kicked off though. See that big odds. I heard big odds have been sending for a jab, you know, fam. What go on with that?
Yeah, really.
Gang. I'll go on the point. I'll go on. Raj is up there still.
I heard he done his, what did he do in his speech?
He done his, I can't even air it, fam. There's too many people.
Did he come dressed like a Batman today?
Just suited and booted.
Don't lie.
Yeah.
Over there, I'm gonna go check him still.
Hey, I've been airing that you've been sending for a jab, fam. I'll go on for that.
You know what happened that day, yeah? Callum must have given me some information saying the brother's 4-child marriage, innit?
Yeah.
I was like, well, if you're for that, bro, then it's on. I mean, but then later, man's telling me that Callum's trying to weasel his way in. And
okay.
But what I'm saying is, man's not a pussy, innit? So I'm here, I made the challenge. If a man responds, I'm not gonna back down his word.
Okay. Mad thing. Mad. I'm gonna go eat this food real quick. I'm gonna come back, fam. I'm gonna go eat this and come back, fam. Live streamers. Live streamers. Shit. Man like Captain Rambo. All gone, brother.
Come and get your melanin.
There you are. I'm good, man.
Yeah,
good,
the
man.
melanin report. We need to do the melanin report.
Melanin report. Let me go eat this, man. Hey, live streamers, I soon come back. I respect for everybody watching the live stream. 670 people watching right now. Mad thing. Soon come. Peace. Some vegan food I'm about to go box off. Chickpeas and all of that. Flatbread.